Hey there, welcome to Chief's Shop and to Hey Chief, where I answer your questions about my projects and woodworking in general. I've had a lot of questions lately about safety, so I thought this would be a good time to cover one tiny little aspect of it, which would be safety regarding your hands. I know that a lot of people are kind of safety nannies. I'm not one, but I do think that it should be the first consideration in the shop when you're working on a project. With regard to hands, it's very important to minimize the amount of jewelry you have on it. So wedding rings, good idea to take those off, particularly when you're working with power tools. I know that you'll see a lot of how-to photography and videos where people are wearing their wedding band. In some instances it's not a problem, but we've probably all heard the tales of folks having their skin peeled off of their finger because their wedding ring was stuck there. Now, another area regarding hands, I know that we like to wear our work gloves when we're working in the yard and carrying things, but in the shop, working with power tools, it's not a good idea. Having a pair of gloves on minimizes the amount of sensitivity you have in your hands, obviously, but also it can get caught in things. So, although a lot of people like to use it on the miter saw, they'll just have their hands, have their gloves on, and they'll grab a piece of wood, pick it up, particularly if they got the saw outside. Okay, I understand that, but you need to take those gloves off before you get your hands near the blade. Now, talking about getting the hands near the blade, we all see people using miter saws where their hands are very close holding that board in place, and that's fine. The kind of general rule of thumb is 6 inches away from the blade. And that, you know, we violate that frequently. I know I have on occasion. But the best thing to do when you're working with a miter saw particularly is to use your clamp that's built in. Set your wood in place, clamp it down. It's not going to go anywhere, you're fine there. We want to do this, and that's fine as well, but to follow textbook safety, use your clamp on your saw. Now on the table saw, we want to use our push sticks. This is one from Craig that I like. It's kind of a multi-purpose push stick. You can use it on a router table too, or a longer push stick such as this when working there. You want to keep that hand out of the area between the blade and the fence. That's your biggest concern. Obviously sleds, working on the table saw, that'll keep your hands away as well. Now one last one, although this isn't the last in considering hand safety, but one that I'm going to talk about, is where you have your hand in relation to drilling or driving. And I know this happens. I've done this before, so it's kind of a boner, I know, but it has happened. Driving screws in, and you're holding a piece, let's say on the other side, and you may not be holding it, hopefully you've got it clamped, you may not be holding it completely in place, but you've got your hand there. And let's say you're driving and it gets a little tough, and it slips out. That has happened. Slips out. It's going to go right into your hand. I have had this happen. I know, stupid, but it has happened. So generally you want to keep that hand away from the other side. I have seen people just pick up a drill, put a drill bit in it, and just drive right through. And what's on the other side here? So keep the hand away. Always, general rule, keep the hand away from wherever you're driving, you're cutting, anything like that. It's easy to forget if you get in what I call robot mode and you're just working piece after piece after piece and you forget that safety component, boom. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, and for more tips and tricks, head over to my website, chiefshop.com, and you'll also be able to find some plans there as well. And as I always say at the end of my videos, time to get off the computer or your mobile device and head out to the shop and make some sawdust.